Watchers, viewers.
On Covey Habit 5. We are Group E and enjoy it. I'll be talking about why communication is important and going through the 6 principles laid out by Covey. So, if you think about it, reading, writing, speaking, and listening are the 4 aspects of communication, and we get taught how to read and write and speak, but no one really teaches you how to listen. It's not part of growing up learning how to listen. But if you want to influence someone, you have to understand them. And in order to understand them, you have to listen to them. And this isn't often considered in society today, the process needed to influence another. Empathetic listening is the idea introduced by Covey, and it's not common in society today. Instead, we project our own autobiography on others. So instead of listening to them and influencing them through understanding, we just project our preconceived ideas onto them. So you need to build the skills of empathetic listening on a base of character that inspires openness and trust. So you have to inspire this openness and trust with the people you are communicating with, and this can come about through practicing empathetic listening. So we'll explore the 6 principles. The first principle, which I've already sort of addressed, is empathetic listening. Because most people listen with the intent to reply. And if you think about it, when someone's talking to you, you automatically go, oh, I know how you feel, or yes, I understand, this is what I would do, without thinking about what they're actually saying and taking it in. You need to get inside someone else's frame of reference, so basically see the world through their eyes and try and understand how they feel. And empathetic listening is different to sympathy. You don't want to sympathize with them, you want to understand them and understand what they're saying, what they're trying to get across to you. Through doing this, you give them psychological air, which is another concept introduced by Covey. We focus on influencing and problem solving with the person you are communicating with. And once again, in order to have influence, you must be influenced by the person. The second principle is to diagnose before you prescribe. I best understood this by thinking about a lawyer or a doctor. You go in there and they don't say anything, they just say how are you feeling or what are your symptoms, and you tell them everything, and then they diagnose. And lawyers also, you tell them everything, and then they'll go from there. They don't judge you as soon as you come in, and we can often do this when communicating with others. And this may appear to be a common principle, but it has the greatest power in the area of interpersonal relations. The third principle are 4 autobiographical responses. Excuse the pronunciation. So we normally respond when communicating in 4 ways. We evaluate, so we agree or disagree with what they're saying straight away. We probe, so you ask questions from your own frame of reference. These ideas you already have about the conversation, what you think they should do. Then advise, give counsel based on your own experience. And then interpret, so explain motives, behavior. And these are just the way we have society communicates today. If you think about it, we should go through development stages where you actually understanding them and seeking to understand what they're saying before giving your own opinion or evaluating something based on your preconceived ideas. So what Covey says we can do is, when communicating with someone, we can mimic what they're saying, rephrase it, reflect, and then rephrase and reflect. So the example that was given was a father having a conversation with their son, and basically you mimic what they say. He said, I don't like school, and then the father can either say, no, you have to go to school, or you can say, okay, so I see you don't like school, why? And then you basically get more out of the person if you seek to understand, and open up a space, and like referring back to that psychological air, open up a space for them to communicate with you. And then it says advice is misguided if one is not addressing the real issue. So if you just evaluate, probe, advise, you don't get to the real issue. So your advice is misguided and often not taken into account. Okay, the fourth principle is understanding and perception. So think about your predetermined perceptions, such as finance are boring and all boys like sports. This principle addresses how we transcend the limits of our individual perceptions so we can deeply communicate. Okay, and the answer to transcend these perceptions is habit 5, so practicing empathetic listening. And I think one way to do it is with those steps before. And if a person has different perceptions, it's crucial to see the world through their eyes. So obviously, perceptions are individual and personal. So in order to understand and communicate properly, you have to open up that space for good communication and understanding. Understand and then seek to be understood. So understand the person, then seek to be understood by them. So knowing how to be understood is the other half of habit 5, and it's equally critical in reaching a win-win solution, which is this thing Covey refers to when both people get the most out of the conversation. So seeking to understand requires consideration and empathetic listening, where you open up that space, and seeking to be understood requires courage. So that's you opening yourself up to the person you're communicating with. So the example they gave us was getting funding granted for your research, where it's unusual research and they wouldn't normally give out funding. It's not fueled by other companies. So the way you present this, you address all the concerns that the people would potentially have before funding your research, and then show them how your research will benefit society, or like if it's a medical thing, the small group, because it's normally like niche research. So you have to have a deep understanding of the people you are presenting to in order to get that win-win solution. I hope that's clear. Is that clear? So yeah, it is key to present your ideas clearly, specifically, visually, and contextually. That's how you can seek to be understood. Okay, the last principle is one-on-one. So habit 5 is powerful because it is in the middle of your circle of influence. Seek first to understand and increase your influence. So that's it. So in order to influence, you have to be influenced by the other, and in order to be influenced by another, you have to understand them. And then once you understand them and you're able to influence them, you basically build these emotional bank accounts where you can influence all the people that have influenced you and that you understand. It's an inside-out approach, so going inside, you can broaden your influence. And as the circle expands, you have the ability to influence many things beyond your circle of concern. Understand and appreciate their concerns and what they're trying to communicate with you, and then you'll grow the circle. And the most important thing I think with these habits was see the world through the eyes of another. Thank you.